Tell me about what type of content you make.
I mostly do talking head about the automotive industry, car reviews, and I actually do builds in my garage here in Vegas.
Yeah, so you're a Vegas creator.
Yes, sir.
What's the Vegas creation scene like?
It's actually pretty big. A lot of people during the pandemic moved to Vegas. There's about 150 of us in our group. I'm actually the smallest one at 500,000 subs. Everybody else is 2 to 12. Actually, we have one person's 15 million.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, very diverse group.
So there's a real community here, and it's growing, and people are learning from each other.
Exactly. It's only getting bigger.
But you've been doing content for, what, 5 years?
Yeah, I'd say about 5 years. I started doing commercials at my dealership, and once I sold my dealership, I got stuck here during the pandemic, and it just kind of led me into doing YouTube because it was just kind of a fun thing to do, and it just winded up just kind of blowing up.
So you owned a car dealership.
Yeah.
And now you're covering cars and things like that, right?
Yeah, so one passion led into another. I love to be creative, and then the fact of actually being able to do YouTube about cars made it worthwhile.
So you actually, which I think is fascinating, do two different types of content. One is, talking heads, explainer stuff, and the other is actually real builds, like really making stuff.
Yeah, we wanted to try to cover everything automotive because a lot of people on YouTube always feel like you got to pick one niche. But in all reality, if you just do what you love, people will migrate to it. I've changed my, niche like 6 times. And every time I do it, I actually gain more subscribers.
All right. So, and I love that you're actually building a Mercedes G6x6.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's my dream car.
What are you doing? And cause you're videoing it all and putting it like multiple chapters up on YouTube. Tell me about that project.
I just wanted to do something different because, YouTube, it's all about challenging yourself, doing something different. And I love the talking heads and talking about the car market because the last 4 years, everybody hated about buying cars. But I wanted to build something to show that I can still do it. I can share with people that it's not that crazy. And putting step by step on YouTube really showed people that you don't got to have this massive crew like Pimp My Ride, if anybody's seen that. It's just me literally building the whole car.
So, are you doing any reviews of cars?
I just signed a contract, and now I'm doing major reviews for every single major manufacturer.
Whoa.
We actually got a brand new Tesla 3 in the parking lot that we basically drive them for a week, and then we're going to start doing reviews, and they're called honest reviews. If you guys want to see one hilarious, look up honest review of Tesla or does the Cybertruck suck? I guarantee you guys will love it.
I know. I was going to ask you about the Cybertruck. I was like, should I buy one? I have a Model 3, but it's it's 2 years old, so
it's the best. Keep it.
I know. Oh yeah. Oh no. I got it. I got self-driving on it. I am like, self-driving is actually a little bit better.
Yeah.
Latest release, it actually is pretty good. But I love my Tesla, and I'm looking at the new. I'm going to be interested to see your review to talk about what's new and different, if anything.
Oh yeah.
Between the new Model 3 and the version I have.
Spoiler alert, just the headlights.
Just the headlights. Spoiler alert. And I got in the Model 3 with the upgraded entertainment system built on the AMD chip. So I was lucky. Yeah. So anyway, we're not going to geek out on cars too much. What I really want to talk about is your studio and what you're building and how you set it up. So you sit at your desk for a bunch of the content that you do, your explainer stuff. Tell me about your rig in that home base. Like, how do you have it set up? How do you have it developed? What's your gear?
Okay. I'll kind of give you guys a breakdown of what each piece does, what I use it for. And
this is from your home base.
Yeah, this is from, I actually have 6 of these things set up all over my house, my studio, my
You
shop.
built this yourself, by the way. This is a custom rig.
Yeah, this whole rig minus the camera is under $500 because my first setup, I spent about $8,000 on it.
Stand up and show it if you want. You don't have to sit.
Okay.
I'm going to stand up and look at it too.
So basically, with all these YouTubers I watched, and it's like paralysis by analysis, you see everybody with these amazing rigs and all this stuff. So I thought I had to do the same thing. Everything here, like I said, is under $500. The most expensive thing is the Manfrotto actual arm that keeps the camera stable. I can basically lean it over, put it back, doing whatever you want, whether you're doing crafts or something else like that. I have the monitor here. It serves 2 purposes. 1, as I'm walking around, I can make sure that I'm always in focus. And 2, if you're like forgetful minds, you can have a script, your bullet points, whatever you need to actually make content. I was on a few movie studio productions and I've seen stuff like this before, and this is where my idea came from. So everything actually is from Amazon. And like I said, everything is under $500. Even the light, very cheap diffuser. I actually have one of the really big ones with the lanterns at home. But the main reason why I did this is because when everybody sets up first, they think you got to have this crazy studio, all this money. This thing is perfect for, if you're just getting started in a room or a small office. On one wall, I have a green screen where if I'm walking around talking about a car show or something like that, that's behind me. On my north-facing wall, I just spin it around the other way. And this one is my whiteboard where I can walk over numbers, everything else. I spin it the other way. And each wall in my room is a different setup. So within a 10 by 10 room, I have 4 different studios set up completely different. So this way I can do multiple things. I don't get bored. And the fact that I have all these in my studio, I put multiple cameras. I don't know if you guys like the DJI Osmo. Put it on here, set on auto tracking. You could walk all over the place and literally spend under $800 for a setup that will follow you from one spot to another. So if you watch any of my videos of me walking around car shows and stuff, believe it or not, it's with this. And so sometimes I'll just have one of my friends pull it behind me, or we just film in 4K and we just do a digital zoom.
Wait, so you'll take this out of the field to a car show or something?
Oh
like
yeah,
that
we did a review of I don't know if you guys know what a Pagani Huayra is, but it's like a $2 million car. We had it for like 30 minutes. And I had no camera guy because everyone knows they're flaky. And so I basically just brought this. They laughed, and I filmed everything in 4K and just did digital zoom through post.
All right, let's talk about this gear. This is a Canon EOS. Is this your main camera?
Yeah, so this is the camera that I use for majority of my stuff. I got about $12,000 in lenses, and I don't use any of them.
Okay.
I use basically the cheapest one. I paid like $250 for it used. Majority of the stuff I film now is actually on my iPhone, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
I feel like the more money I make on YouTube, more basic my equipment gets.
Will you put the iPhone on this rig as well?
Yeah, I have an iPhone, and then I also use my Osmo that actually tracks me as I walk around. I used to have my gimbal from DJI, but that thing weighs like 1,000 pounds. But I did it because it was just very hard for me to find a camera guy. So I wanted to make it so simplistic that all I got to do is literally when I walk in, everything's through my Alexa. I just say, Alexa, showtime. This turns on. My screen turns on. All my lights come on for production. I don't do nothing else. And it's just set and forget it.
And then this is a Rode microphone. Which Rode are you using here?
This is the Pro 2, but I actually use my DJI 2 Maverick wireless.
Yeah, those are the little ones that clip on, right?
Yeah,
everyone's using those.
Yeah, this thing is amazing. I'll be honest with you. Definitely get these. It's worth the $300.
Yeah, I have a pair from Anchor that are similar, but yeah, I hear the DJIs are better. But oh well, it was not when I did it. So this is a Manfrotto, which you said.
Yeah, that's actually the most expensive piece out of all of this.
How much is it?
That part right there is like $150.
Oh my gosh, I want.
Yeah, and so everything else is fairly cheap, but once you get it, it's just like I said, it's just so simplistic to move around, shoot photos, screenshots, whatever else. All my thumbnails, literally, I do everything, and I have a remote where I control.
Okay, so you have the Avenger here. Mm-hmm. What plugs into? I'm going to walk behind here. What plugs into this monitor? This is a nice little widescreen.
Yeah, so I didn't want to bring the cables because I don't want to.
No, but I just what do you plug in?
It's HDMI directly to my camera, and this runs down through a block where I have about 6 plugins to control all the lights and everything else, and then this goes automatically to my computer. So I record everything on my actual iMac, not my computer. I mean, my.
And you can
camera.
switch the screen from your camera to a display view where you can have your notes or a teleprompter or whatever.
Yeah, I do that. Like I kind of talk off the top of my head, but all my friends in our YouTube group all have this set up now, which is hilarious. And they all put their notes on one side or their PowerPoint, and then they'll have their actual face in there just to make sure that they're always in focus and they're getting good footage.
Yeah, I talk off the top of my head too, but I do like having bullet points that I can look at.
Yeah.
Get around here without knocking it over. And then the light is just sort of a generic light.
Yeah, that one's just a generic one. Like I said, I got one of the bougie ones. It's like a $6,000 light. Don't ever waste that much money.
$6,000 light?
I'm telling you, if I would have known this before, because I'm sure everyone's watched these videos like, if you want to be a good YouTuber, you got to reinvest. I don't know if I could say bullshit, but
go ahead.
It's bullshit. Don't waste your money. I mean, it's most of the top creators I know. One of our guys, if you guys know Graham Stephan, he uses a 12-year-old camera that's used that he bought from a pawn shop, and he's still, raking in $7-8 million a year. So it's like, I used to think it was all about the setup, but now it's just quality of content. So this whole thing is basically the lazy man setup. You just set it, forget it, and it just makes it so much more simplistic.
I'm so taking a picture of that so I can do this when I get home. The other thing I think that's really cool is go pick that bag up over there. You brought it in that bag. Like this thing is not like a big heavy to do. He's like comes rolling in, basically came in through security at NAB and they're like, yeah, whatever. Come on in, dude. So it's really very portable too. It's like the biggest, bulkiest thing is that screen.
Yeah. I actually have one that holds an iPad that's at my shop. It's even smaller than this.
Yeah.
It weighs less than, I think, 12 pounds for everything. Now that one's all aluminum. It's a little bit expensive, but the reason why I use this one is because it's a professional grade C-clamp. It can hold up to 90 pounds.
Oh, right.
I can literally put a 45-inch monitor on this. So when I do my shop's about 10,000 square feet, back past the camera guy, I'll put my setup there and I'll walk around and do my videos and I'll be able to see how like small I look and if I'm actually in frame.
Does anybody want to ask him a question about his magical mystery rig? Yeah, here, hold on. I'm going to come out there.
Does the monitor have like 2 video inputs so you can run like your prompter and then video source?
Yeah, this one actually does. It has the 2 inputs. You can do USB and HDMI, and it'll allow you to split it. Or if you run it straight through your computer, you can split it both through your actual screen on your Mac or PC.
Cool. Any other questions before we move on? We're good. Up over here. Move in a little bit because you're right in front of the speaker, and I worry about feedback.
Hi, Lucky. Thanks for doing this. So I'm sorry if I missed it, but do you use that monitor as a teleprompter?
Yes. I kind of talk off the top of my head, but a lot of my friends that we set up to do the setup, all their talking points, it actually scrolls. There's an app you can get where as you look at the camera, it'll start rolling down through. So it's their teleprompter, it's their PowerPoint show, it's their notes, it's everything.
So what's the app called? Like what?
I think it's like Linux, not Linux. Oh my God, what is it called? I'm sorry, I don't know that one. That's because I never used it, so I kind of just go. But every once in a while, when I do deep dives like about the auto market or banking, I actually put notes through my Excel, and then I do a PowerPoint.
Is there like a dedicated teleprompter, that you like better or no?
No, I'll be honest with you, save your money, buy this, because the app is literally free, and you can scroll through on here. You can go over here and they'll sell you one for like $6,000 if you want.
Okay, thank you.
I will say people like the Elgato, the new Elgato, which is only a couple $100. I spent a couple $100 on a teleprompter and I want to sell it. So if anybody wants to buy my teleprompter, this is a much better, because I talk off the top of my head too. I usually don't teleprompt that much. And I got okay at reading the teleprompter, but I'm like much better just being myself. Yeah,
but I think if you're new to YouTube and you want to get something done, this is a great thing for you to hit all your points and make sure you don't forget, so you don't have to revisit it 4 or 5 times.
So your garage where you're doing this Mercedes build, garages can be boomy, right? There's not a lot of soft surfaces in those garages.
Yeah.
How do you, cause your shots look great. Do you have a jib? Do you have like, what do you do to kind of control the audio? Like what's your setup there as you're starting to, like he's building this like, what are you taking a Mercedes and putting like 3 axles and 6 wheels on it or doing something that's like really, you're like redoing the frame. I was watching one of the videos like, oh yeah, it's like, oh, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, a lot of that stuff, unfortunately, I actually filmed with my iPhone, which is pretty hilarious. But and some of the other screenshots, I have these things set up all over where I have all the cameras simultaneously rolling, and then everything gets basically transferred to, I have a block that basically saves the data. And I just basically, as I'm walking around, I use my Bluetooth. This one's actually got the noise cancellation. It works really well. We'll go out shooting. I'll blow stuff up. We go on rallies where we drive like crazy supercars really fast. This thing bleeds out everything. It's amazing.
And the noise canceling does a good job, huh? It's active and it really like keeps it in, huh?
And you don't sound like a robot.
Yeah,
I've seen the ones where you worried about post and it sounds so horrible. I do want a little bit of the organic, like me banging on the hammer or cutting something. I want you guys to hear it. But at the end of the day, I know the audio I think is the most key thing. That's why I invest in these, because I got one of those, was it synthesizer mics? I think I paid like $2,800. Used it twice.
Sell it.
Don't waste it. Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace.
This thing is the best.
What, so you don't have a jib. Do you have people working with you when you're in the,
I do have a jib. I bought a used one.
You have a jib. Okay. I thought I saw some jib shots.
And I used it like maybe 5 times, 6 times. The company that I bought it before went out of business. I think they paid $70,000 for it. So I think if it really just depends on your content. Every time I thought that maybe I need to get better equipment, like level up your business, because I was a business owner first before I did YouTube, and that's what you're taught, like always reinvest in your business. And YouTube, I feel like it's the opposite. The more authentic you are, it's your story is what's going to sell everybody. Because I mean, I have friends that have amazing channels that have a whole camera crew. It's just basically, I'm just one idiot with a camera. I wish I could find a camera guy and an editor, but unfortunately, Vegas is still a little bit behind.
That's just you.
Yeah,
just you. Well, you do great content, so you should totally check it out. So for all the gear that you have and everything you do, what's that one thing that they have to like pull out of your cold, dead hand before you release it? What's the one thing that you will not live without?
I'd say probably would be the wireless mics, because once you have this set up and you get the lanyards, or excuse me, the lib mics, this plugs into your camera, this plugs into your phone. It's
Wait, hold them up so people can, and the camera can see it.
So this is, the small ones. They're from DJI. Probably the best investment I made out of all the.
That has a microphone in it, and you can clip that to your shirt or something, right?
Yeah, I usually hide this behind me, and then I have the,
have a lav mic, yeah.
Yeah, they come through here, and you can bang on it with your collar. It doesn't make any noise. But from a creator standpoint, if you just want to get started, you can literally get this one piece that plugs into your iPhone. There's ones for the old ones and new ones, and that's really it. Once you have that, if you're shooting 4K, 60 frames per second, you'll get amazing shots.
So does ISO record the audio on there too?
Yeah, so this will actually record it internally and to your phone. So worst case scenario, if you walk too far or if you're doing a lot of turning around like what I do, you won't lose that signal. And if you do, you have a backup actually on the system.
And that little box is a battery too, right?
Yeah, and this is showing
What it goes into, it's a battery. It's a really, really clever thing. All right, is there something that you really need that you don't have? You're like, oh my God, that's the thing I want. They're like, did you see anything here at NAB or anything?
Oh
else?
yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I saw, one of my friends, he paid, I think it was $108,000 for one of the large LED screens. God, that thing is
$108,000.
That was used.
Wow.
He got it at CES here in Vegas. And so he spends about 40 grand a month making videos on YouTube. And it's crazy. I think he gets maybe 2,000 views per video. I don't know why people spend that much money. It's insane.
I would spend that money to play Zelda on it.
Oh yeah, that's what I told him. I was like,
Video games.
Super Mario.
Exactly.
But I'd say I'd like to get something like that.
So any tips, tricks for people starting out that want to do sort of similar stuff to what you do?
I think the big thing, the fact is, don't get paralysis by analysis. When's the best time to start? Today. What should I use? The camera that's in your pocket. And if you don't know what you're actually going to film, you don't know your niche, just start filming. Since I've started, I must have changed 6 to 8 times. And everybody in my YouTube group, the exact same thing. We all have the exact same stories. We wish we would have started sooner. We should have just started filming. One thing I will tell you, take lessons for the Adobe Premiere and Final Cut. Because don't rely on anybody else to do the editing and everything else. Because everybody in our group, even the bigger YouTubers with like 10, 12 million, we all edit our own stuff, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So I think being self-sufficient is probably the most important thing.
Having control over that's important. What do you use to edit with?
I use Adobe.
Use Adobe?
Yeah.
You've seen Adobe down here and what they're doing?
Yeah, I went over there, checked out all the new stuff. It's super awesome.
Talk about how you package your videos, thumbnails, headlines, things like that. How do you think about that?
Oh, this is something I'll tell you guys this. Obviously YouTube's a search engine. If you're trying to think of what to film, YouTube will actually tell you. So if you're like, how to cook, just type it in how to cook and don't press anything afterwards. YouTube will fill in the blank, which is the most searched result out of anything. So every time I talk about cars, business, marketing, finance, I always type in those things. And right after that, it'll tell me what I need to make my next videos. So that'll be the first one. YouTube, thumbnails, I spend about 3 hours making them. And it's all about, I hate to say it, putting your face in it. If you watch my videos, I have the same stupid face over and over again. I don't know why. It's literally 110% click-through rate if I put my face in it. If I put cars, finance, whatever I'm talking about, it doesn't work. So if you get pretty good with Photoshop, I would say that'd be your best thing. Spend as much time as you can with your thumbnail. I'm the only one I know in our group that doesn't do their thumbnail and their title first and then the video. Almost everybody I know in our group actually does it that way.
Are you doing horizontal and vertical at the same time? Like, are you posting on TikTok and Reels and Short?
I just got a Snapchat show. I didn't know if that was like
Snapchat show. Well done.
Oh yeah. So if you guys are going to do this, look into that. They're making insane money. And I had no idea it even existed. I thought it was something like OnlyFans, but they actually have TV shows on Snapchat where you can
yes, they do.
post long form content and the money is absolutely ridiculous. So I'm starting to shoot vertical. That's why I have this set up where my camera's on a ball. I can flip it and do verticals, or I can do regular. And then all my other cameras, my iPhone, everything else, I do the exact same thing.
Wow. So when's your Snap show launching?
It's next week.
And who's it with?
It's just me.
It's you?
Yeah, just Lucky Lopez on there. Just
Nice.
make sure you see my face, because the other ones, I think there's like Lucky Lopez, XXX, or Lucky Charms or something. Don't go to that one.
Don't do that. What's your posting cadence? How often are you posting?
I used to post 3 times a week, then I went down to 2 times a week, and I'm kind of find that's my happy spot because it's really about the quality of content, not the amount. Because I know a lot of YouTubers, you got to post every single day. And I did that for about 90 days. Didn't matter. Didn't change. I got less views. Once I did quality content, all of us in our group were all posting about 2 to 3 times a week.
3 times a week.
Yeah.
So talk about, it sounds like you're making money in a lot of different ways. You're getting paid to do a Snap show. You're doing now reviews. I assume you have brand deals and things like that. How do you handle the monetization side of your business?
I think that's something that you guys need to learn ASAP. Talk to a manager. I know there's one somewhere over here. But I get paid like my AdSense. I get about 1.5, 1.8 million views every month, which I don't know. It seems like it's okay, but Google only pays me about $5,500, which is nothing. But my average brand deal is anywhere from $7,000 to $20,000. And most of these ones, I actually reach out to the brands. I didn't know how to get them, so I just started messaging everybody. Hey, I'm an automotive YouTuber. I love your brand. Love to talk about it. Is there something we can do? And I started searching out management agents to kind of help us grow our business. And I was actually shocked that I met Chris, our guy.
Yep.
You met. Great guy. He gives us brand deals. Never signed an exclusivity deal. I'm telling you right now, don't ever do it. Take deals from wherever you can. On all your messaging, your Instagram, your Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, OnlyFans, whatever, always put your email for business. Because eventually the Google spiders run across there, they'll track it and they'll ship it out to all the, I guess, managers that are looking for people to push your product.
How do you manage your community, your fans? What do you do to connect with them?
I try to do a weekly Q&A session where I was like the only idiot still today. I answer almost every single one of my followers like comments. So I'll get an average of like 2,000 comments a video, and I'll sit there and just for the first 3 hours just message everybody back. And if anybody says something really funny, then I'll go back and try to hit them up again. But I think it's really just paying attention to them, letting them feel special. I have a lot of the guys that I remember their names, so I always kind of say hi to them every time I see them in the message section. But I'd say building a community is second because there's a thing. I used to be in music. It's basically 1,000 fan rule. If you can get 1,000 fans to buy $100 worth of your stuff, you can make $100,000 for life. That's why the bands your parents used to listen to that nobody even knows the names of the songs are still very successful, still making money because as long as you capitalize on that, whether it's pictures, private content, I do Q&A classes, people will pay. One of my friends, I think they got 6,800 people paying $70 a week.
Wow.
Subscription to do his Q&A. It's insane. So it really blows my mind how people are really leveraging their community to not only take care of them, but also monetize it.
How are you using AI in your process, if you are or are not?
This is where I'm going to sound like a dinosaur. I don't believe in AI because at the end of the day, I've seen some really amazing videos. My friend Dylan, the stuff that he's doing, you can literally show me on the moon with a monkey on my back driving a Ferrari, and it'll make the video. But I feel like once we start going down that route, it's like the Mr. Beast theory. Remember, like the last 2 years, every idiot wanted to be Mr. Beast, and every video was just like bam, 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 bam. Absolutely hate it. Now, if you do retention editing, your viewership falls. It's like YouTube doesn't want to see that. And I think the next trend is going to be AI. Everybody's using that, and it's just like, but you could try it if you want.
Okay, so you're doing video reviews. One last question for you, and then we're going to move on to Ronit and Sean down here. But should I buy a Cybertruck?
No.
Check out his video on the Cybertruck. It's pretty pointed.
Definitely not PG-13.
Why? What's wrong with it? What's wrong with the Cybertruck?
I think the big thing with automotive is when they hype something up, everyone gets really excited. I don't know if you guys know the Supra and the NSX. They talked about it for like 5 years. When it finally came out, it went for stupid money. And then once people got it, they realized it wasn't that great. And as you can see, like Cybertrucks about 3 months ago, we're selling for $200,000. Then 190, then 180. How they're selling for MSRP. If anybody wants an allocation, I got 2 of them. They're more than welcome to have one. Nobody's buying them anymore. I think, and I called in that video and you guys can watch it, they're going to be 80 grand by next year.
Wow.
Mark my words.
All right. Thank you very much, Lucky. You're going to be sticking around. Really appreciate it. We're going to get your gear off stage. Please give them a hand. We'll get your gear off stage. Going to bring Sean and Ronit up.